You're watching Clearfield TV, where thoughts matter.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Clearfield TV. My name's Steve, and this is
Dan,
and we are here recording our very first episode, we could call it, of
Sure.
Clearfield TV. We're super excited about the future of what we have in mind, what we'd like to see this become. We're going to talk to you today a little bit about us, what we're all about individually, what our future goals are, and hopefully you'll follow us along on this journey as Clearfield TV develops. But the most important thing is this is where thoughts matter. And we're going to talk about our personal lives. We're going to talk about our community, our opinions about what's going on in the world, and hopefully you'll come along with us.
right. And one thing that I wanted to kind of set the tone of the conversation is while we do have our own thoughts and opinions and ideas, I know at least myself and you are open to other people's ideas, thoughts,
Absolutely.
and opinions.
Yep.
Because that's why our tagline, our mantra here is, or where thoughts matter, right? Yeah, where thoughts matter. It'll give me a
We're
little
new
bit.
to this.
Yeah, we're new to this. So that's the idea, is where we feel that more than one idea can come to the table, and we can talk as mature adults through those ideas. Not everybody's right, not everybody's wrong. Too many times we are caught in end fighting when it comes to, we joke around that we want this to kind of center around the three things you're not allowed to talk about. Politics, money, and God. And it's like, why is that?
Right.
So the three things that rule our country and our world: politics, money, and God. Those are the three things that are the major things that make decisions in this world. We're not supposed to talk about.
Yeah, everyone's supposed to just be quiet. Oh, it's too touchy of a subject.
Right.
It's like, well,
So of course
how
it's
are we
going
going
to
to accomplish anything
It's going to
if we don't
fail
talk
if
about
we
it?
can't talk about
Yeah.
it. So and like Steve was saying, we want it to be more of a open forum type thing. So when we are live, this is a pre-recorded episode. So while you can leave comments down below, we want people to be chiming in live. Maybe at some point we'll be able to bring in almost kind of like Zoom calls, bring in guests
that'd be cool.
remotely that want to talk.
Yeah, have special guests and things in. Sure.
Or bring them in person. We want to kind of go do man on the street to interview our fellow Clearfieldians, I think is what we're called.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's what it's called. Probably not. If my wife was here, she would correct me. But.
So yeah, we're both from the Clearfield, Pennsylvania area. So if you're watching this sometime in the future online somewhere, that's kind of how we come up with the name Clearfield TV. Which we also have a website, Clearfield.tv is the website, and you can find us. This channel everywhere. Eventually we're going to be on all the streaming platforms and whatnot. So wherever you happen to be watching us, thank you for that. And one of the reasons that we even started this thing is, we have a long history together that we kind of lost track of each other for quite a few years, and we just kind of reconnected several months ago, both over the subject of local politics. We were both interested in getting involved with the local political scene. And I had made a comment on one of my social media posts about, thinking about it. And Dan reached out to me and said, hey, we need to get together and talk. So we got together, had lunch together, and got to talk and realized that, we have a lot of the same ideas, a lot of the same perspectives. And our history, actually, I used to do foster care, and Dan used to be one of my foster kids way back in the day.
Yeah.
And so it was neat to really reconnect with Dan. And
31 years ago.
31?
32 years
oh my
ago.
goodness.
Yeah.
And learn, what his life has been like since I had him when he was like 3-4 years old. And I'm very impressed with the life that Dan has led up to this point anyway so far. That could change. And so, that's kind of what started our conversation about, kind of teaming up together on a common idea, common thread. And then it kind of developed into how do we introduce ourselves to the community in a modern way. And we thought, well, let's just start a channel, and that's kind of why we're here.
I wanted to touch on something you were saying about how we introduce ourselves to the community. And it's like, because we're not, like, while I'm a business owner, you're a business owner, we're not like major names in town.
Yeah.
We don't own the, the corner shop that everybody goes to or something like that. We're a very niche company. I own a cleaning company. You own a
graphics company. Yep.
Yeah. I never know what to call them.
Yeah, we do all kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so I thought, hey, because I'm looking to eventually maybe run for some kind of local government, local politics. I believe Steve is as well. And we want people to know where we really come from. Not a flyer you get in the mail and you read a paragraph, because I can make myself pretty awesome sounding in a paragraph. But if you think about it, if we do this for a long period of time, you can actually get to know how we react to
personally,
things.
and our deep opinions on things,
exactly,
and how we're going to try to help the community based on what you learned from us here. So.
Right, correct. So. Do we want to start going into our individual selves? Do you want to start? You want me to start?
Yeah, tell me about, I already know, but tell the people about your life, just kind of hit the high points, what you got you to where you are today.
All right. Like Steve said, I was adopted whenever I was 4. I was in the foster system before then. Don't remember too much about that. I do remember Steve, when I was younger, he was probably my first solid person in life that I could actually look at and go, I know this person, I trust this person, in my earliest memory. I eventually got adopted by my aunt and uncle and lived a pretty normal, satisfying life throughout time. We were very middle class, maybe lower middle class. I never thought we were poor, but I get, like, looking back, it's like, it's definitely, and we're tough, and it's tight to make the.
And in our area, that's pretty
that's
normal.
a very normal,
just average,
medium normal thing. I started out in Clearfield throughout most of my life. In high school, I moved to Curvensville, which is even a smaller town. And then Clearfield, graduated from Curvensville, went to college for a few months in Pittsburgh. Realized that I'm not responsible enough to do that lifestyle and like get up on my own and go to school. I dabbled with a party life and drank and full disclosure of life, because I fully, unlike was it Obama or Bill Clinton? He's like, I didn't inhale, or I did inhale, or one of them things. So yeah, I definitely got into party life in a little bit in high school, mainly in college, and did everything under the sun and experienced life. And I got to a point to where I realized if I continued down this path, then it's going to be worse. It's going to be like rehab worse. It's going to be
you could see
homeless.
You
worse,
could see the darkness at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah, I was. I would call home to ask my mom for money, and she already knew. Well, I'll send you some groceries. You know what I mean? It was on that borderline of life, and I realized, like, hey, I need to straighten up, and I knew I wasn't able to. And obviously, I don't think I was able to get it from my hometown or my mom, because that's where I came from, and I was still doing it. So I joined the Marine Corps. So whenever I was 19 years old, I joined the Marine Corps. I spent 4.5 years in the Marine Corps. Started out infantry. I always, for anybody that doesn't know the labels of infantry and stuff, I always say, if you watch a commercial and there's a Marine commercial, that's what I did.
Okay.
I didn't drive a truck. I didn't work on a vehicle. I was an infantry Marine. So what you picture a Marine as is what I did. I was on 3 combat deployments, 2 to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan, front lines, kind of stuff right after it. This would have been the 2005 time frame. So if anybody is a history buff or military buff, this is right like 2 years after our main push through Fallujah. Like, it was the hard time, not that it's ever easy to be deployed, but this was where, fighting and that kind of stuff went on. And after my first deployment, I actually got in trouble, A, for getting into a fight with an officer, and then B, I popped on a urinalysis exam for smoking marijuana whenever I was on leave. Imagine that. Your history comes back to bite you. And technically, per Marine Corps standards, so this is after my first deployment, 1.5 years into the Marine Corps, and per Marine Corps standards, I was supposed to be kicked out. Okay. That's zero tolerance policy. You're out. So we were doing, it's called, I don't even remember what it's called now. It's a certain training event in California to lead up to a deployment. And they actually had like a mock Iraqi town, and like there's like 150 Iraqi nationals that they bring over, and they're actors, and like it's this whole big thing. It's pretty. That's where your tax dollars go. I'll tell you right. Millions of dollars spent. Like houses are built this
very
way,
realistic looking.
They import trucks that look like those over there and stuff. Like it's if somebody blindfolded you, went on a helicopter ride, and you thought you were going to Iraq, but they dropped you off in the middle of it's by 29 Palms, California, you would think you're in there. Like it's exactly. It's weird. Makes me believe that the moon landing could be faked for something like that. I swear, it's like the first time I stepped in there, I was like, I didn't know this existed.
We're not in America.
Yeah,
anymore.
this isn't America, but it's pretty. And they act for 2 weeks straight. So you're there for 2 weeks. Everybody's acting.
Everyone stays in character.
They're cooking bread. Like they're doing things just like they would be over there living a normal life.
Wow.
And then they like tag people as insurgents, and they're plotting, and they accidentally leave things behind and stuff. All this stuff to train like you're over there. But anyways, long story short, I ran a lot, so you'll have to interrupt me sometimes.
Let me stop you there. Are we allowed to say this publicly? Like this?
Yeah.
This public knowledge.
There's
what the military does there.
I've said other stuff publicly that I signed papers on, and nobody's ever yelled at me. So, but so I was supposed to be kicked out, but we were on a workup to be deployed, and so when we went to California to train for those 2 weeks, so we trained for it's a 2-month training program in California, and then after that you have like a month off, and then you go deploy. And that's the build-up. Well, they don't want to kick you out during that process because they're doing all the other stuff, and you're a warm body that they can do things with. So they sent me to what's called S2. Yeah, S1. Anyways, whatever. And it's an intelligence group within the Marine Corps to kind of be their office, I'd use a profane word, office go-to person.
Your little gopher.
Gopher, that's a good word.
Female gopher.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so like I was cleaning, taking out the trash, running and getting things and stuff like that because they didn't deem me as a responsible Marine, right?
Yeah. Once you got caught, then they kind of put you down at the bottom again.
You're just a worker. You're not doing your
that's
job.
Fair enough.
So I went, and first deployment I was infantry and did all that. So, while I was there, my background in I went to Votech in high school and in college was computers. So I have a lot of degrees in computers, certifications, all that kind of stuff. And so while I was there working as the trash guy for this intelligence group, they had computer issues, and they would always have to wait for the data guys and all. And I was like, hey, I can fix that. No problem, And after about a week of that, there was a staff sergeant there that kind of recognized, like, there's a stereotype in the Marine Corps as an infantryman, we call them grunts, that's what we are, that we're stupid. And the reason that is it takes the lowest ASVAB score to get in, like, out of all military branches, out of any job in the military, the lowest score you can be an infantry Marine because you're taught how to shoot a gun. And fight.
You just
that's
follow instructions,
follow orders,
and that's it.
And it might be easier if you're not that intelligent. But anyways, they realized that I wasn't.
Just don't ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask questions. Okay, no problem, boss. They realized that I was, quote unquote, the staff sergeant said I wasn't a dumb grunt. And so he started tasking me with little things, and it just worked into this thing that I was really good at intelligence and talking to people, and he discovered that, and then weird thing, like any other branch, the chain of command is really long to get to somebody high up that can do things. Like there's a lot of red tape. Well, with intelligence, they cut down that a lot, so
things can happen a lot quicker probably.
Exactly.
Because once you have an intelligence on something, it needs to go.
It can't go through 20 people. So, and I know this is a long story, but this is
what got you here.
A breaking point in my life to where I realized that I wasn't. I don't say normal because that makes me sound egotistical, but like I had a gift. I had some special thing that I was able to do. So they discovered
realized
that in me.
you had something that something of value.
So this staff sergeant went to a 2-star general at the time. General Neller was his name. He actually ended up becoming the commandant in the Marine Corps, the highest ranking official in the Marine Corps, which I always wondered if I'd have stayed on because me and him really got along. But he went to him, and for like a 3-month period, they fought for me to stay in the Marine Corps. And at the time, I was one of 6 people ever to stay in the Marine Corps after a drug pop, which was pretty cool to me that somebody fought for me. in that sense. So my second deployment, I mainly focused on military intelligence while doing infantry. I was part of a company level intelligence cell. I led a group of Marines that ran that, where for the first time ever, and actually President Obama started this. I actually had Christmas dinner with him. It would have been the year of like 2006 when I always get my years mixed up, but it was whenever he was president-elect. Like he wasn't.
Okay.
He just got elected, but he wasn't president
quite in
yet.
the building yet.
Yeah. And there's a funny story I'll tell sometime about that. But so anyways, second deployment, I was in intelligence, and I pretty much worked with that, finding people, and I ran sources, and I worked with CIA operatives. I've worked with FBI operatives. When I actually got out of the Marine Corps, I was offered jobs doing it civilian side for $250,000 a year and stuff, but I fully lost faith in our system because of how we can look the other way for things, and we don't fulfill promises. And where
you're talking on an international level.
Yeah, I'm talking international. I'm talking how we treat other countries, other people. I always pictured America, when I joined the Marine Corps, I pictured America as like Captain America, or the eagle that's on all of our stuff. Just this
rush in
I'm
and save
honest,
the day.
I'm honest. I'll fight for you. My word is gold. Those type of standards is what I held it at. And then working with an intelligence stuff and having to make promises to people that I thought I could keep because I was told I could keep, and then we would throw them to the wayside when they weren't useful. And then, obviously, without getting too graphical, if you have an intelligence source in another country and you stop protecting them and people realize that they're your intelligence source, bad things happen.
Yeah, they disappear.
And when that occurred, I was done. Now, I did go on a third deployment, and I was mainly like a security force for special higher-ups and stuff. There was a group of us that were just so talented that they just kept us for this security detail for special people. But anyways, so that's what I did. I got out of the Marine Corps. I drifted. The Marine Corps military is not good at all with getting people out of the military. It's pretty much see ya.
De-escalate or de-educate you.
I always thought it was crazy. Like I was deployed in a combat zone, running and gunning, and within 45 days I was back in Clearfield out of the Marine Corps.
You're wow.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, so 45 days.
That's a big shock to the psyche.
It is, and it's like because you're supposed to, and it's for 4.5 years. That's all I did.
Yeah.
As an infantry person, you don't like really socialize. You don't go. You party on the weekends with other infantry people, and then you work, and that's the lifestyle for 4.5 years. And I was deployed for 2.5 years out of 4.5 years. So even that was coming back. It's like you realize like, what am I supposed to do? What am I like? The only job I can get is a police officer or a prison guard. I didn't want to be either of those. And it's like, so I was really lost for probably a good 8 months, a year.
Okay.
Got back into drugs and alcohol again, and just really didn't know who I was or what I wanted. But then I met now my wife, and she became my purpose in life. And I know that sounds very cliche, but like I had a mission. I had a reason.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because after the Marine Corps, I didn't have a reason. Like, what am I doing? I'm doing nothing. Like, what am I going to go work at a job? I was working maintenance at a local hotel. And it's like, it was such a, what's the point of this? And that's where I came from with that. And then we started our own business. I've had our own business. Me and my wife have owned our own business this is our 10th year.
Okay.
We have employees. I've always been into politics. After the Marine Corps, I was never really into politics by any means growing up. I was interested in like the military and stuff of it. But then when I met my wife, I also got called into a security job. And that was a pretty big thing, but I drove a lot, so I did podcasts. I don't know if anybody listened. People might click off right here. I started listening to Alex Jones.
Okay.
And he's labeled, but I don't know, if you ever look at some of his old stuff, he's predicted a lot of stuff that would occur, but not that I full-heartedly follow what he does. But
his personality's kind of rough.
I wish I could make my personality, like I love his personality. Like that's why I listened to him.
Okay.
Was because of his personality.
Oh,
because he was so animated.
He's so fired up.
And this and people and this, we're turning the front, like all this crazy stuff. And I enjoyed that. It made me I guess, is it vicariously?
Living
vicariously through,
you.
like, so a lot of part of my voice wanted to be that,
Okay.
and then I started listening to politics. I'm a conspiracy theorist by nature, and people are like, well, how does that happen? It's like, because I've been part of some, and it's like, I've had to lie about things, and it's like,
you just kind of question everything. Yeah.
So, and it's like, it's by my nature, that's what I did. And with intelligence, you have to question everything. And it's actually caused some issues.
You just don't naturally trust anything.
Pretty much. and I'm sure, like, if...
and you have to have a healthy balance of that, sure. I mean, you can't just be naive and just trust everything and everybody.
My wife would tell me it's probably an unhealthy balance. Right? Like, I'm getting better at it, but if there was a therapist here, they would probably say, well, you were adopted. And, it's like there's a lot of trust issues that I've had throughout life. Yeah. So I'm getting better with it. I don't believe everything. I'm not naive. But if there's enough smoke, I believe there's fire.
Oh, sure.
And we'll probably get into some of that.
You got to have common sense about stuff. I mean, you can't just ignore when you're looking around life, around the world, and you see things going on. You can't just ignore it.
Well, one of my big ones that I always people are like, it bugs me. It's like, so we've all heard of Harvey Weinstein, all right, and what he's done and what he's in trouble for and all that kind of stuff. Well, I remember 8, 9, 10 years ago, Alex Jones was mentioning on one of his radio shows that he did, and he pointed out that it was like the Emmys or Grammys or one of these things that one of the people introducing and talking about it introduced like Harvey Weinstein, and they made a joke about like
his casting couch.
Yeah, his casting couch and how he does stuff. Which
they all kind of know.
Knew.
Yeah, they know.
So that to me is a conspiracy. So and it took 8, 9, 10 years for something like that to come out. So if that's the case, people are, one of the biggest arguments people always counter me with the conspiracy theories. Oh, if it was like that, we would all know. You couldn't keep a secret like that.
Yeah, well, that's the definition of a conspiracy.
Why couldn't you?
People cover it up.
Look at Iran Contra. Look at there's things through history. Look at the atom, the making of the atom bomb. That was kept secret for years, and there was like 4,000 people that worked on it.
Yeah.
And it was never known. It was never leaked to other governments. It was never, and it's like they bust people in. Like, it was crazy if you follow what was done. That's public knowledge now, and I'm sure there's still secrets about that we don't know about. And that's my thing. It's like, and working in the government. I mean,
we're getting down a rabbit trail.
We are. I used to take bags of money to Iraqis to build a well in Iraq. And I never saw wells being built. Just throwing it out there. Go ahead, Steve. I'm going to take I'll rant for 4 hours.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to start this channel is we don't want to, we want to be honest and open about who we are, because you're going to see a lot more of us out in the public. And we want people to know from the get-go who we are, what we're all about. And there's not going to be any conspiracies here. You're going to know exactly what we're about. And, we want to open it up to questions and have the audience involved and, bring in guests and, have, take, comments and answer questions, just live even. So we want to get to that point eventually. I think for today, we'll end the talk today for right now. Maybe next episode.
Well, what about you, Steve?
Well, I was going to say we don't want to go too long here today, but
we didn't start the timer like we were supposed to.
But maybe we'll cut this up into two introduction episodes. How about that?
It could be that.
Yeah, we could do that. So tune in next time, and we'll talk a little bit more about.
Before we cut, do we want to talk? So we talked about me. Do we want to talk about Clearfield TV a little bit? So we can
what our future
is?
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
I know we were talked about maybe, I don't want to say partnering, but like using different local sources with stuff. And that's more of your side, so I would.
Yeah, on the technical side of things, now Dan's real good at, computers and setting up, the video stuff and whatever, and I'm learning as we go. But one of the things I'd like to see us do with Clearfield TV is use local news reports and talk about local issues, talk about local news articles. And I don't want to get into gossip stuff or, local police reports. I mean, we don't want, we don't want to
unless it's something crazy.
Unless it's something that's on a.
But I can't think of one that has been. So it's like.
But we're going to use local news source Gant Daily. So we'll be using their website, and we'll be able to pop the articles up on the screen here in front of us. And as we're talking about issues, local issues, so you can see what we're talking about. And so we're going to be using that kind of technology. We're going to use, I think, a lot of the local Clearfield County website, and we'll dig into there and find out as much information as we can about Clearfield County, not only on the political level, but who the people are that run the county, and why are they in office, and why should they remain in office, or maybe they shouldn't be in office, and right. Are they doing the best job that they can for you as a community? And that's one of the things that got us talking about wanting to get involved with local politics. Is we feel like we need to get involved, like more than just posting on social media. We feel like
so instead of typing, now we're talking.
Yeah, and so that's the long-term goal for us, is to introduce the community to us through modern technology, the way things are now, and use Clearfield TV to do that. And some of the things we kind of see on the horizon is adding additional programs under the umbrella of Clearfield TV. So if any other local personalities would like to have their own show on Clearfield TV, we can make space for that, even if they don't agree with us politically Correct. Or socially or whatever. We want, we want to stick to the catchphrase of where thoughts matter, and whether the thoughts are our thoughts or someone that doesn't agree with our thoughts. We welcome all ideas and thoughts, and so that's a little bit about what Clearfield TV is about. I think, did I cover?
Yeah, I think so. Now, I don't know if we will put ourselves on the spot here. If it's going to be it's a weekly thing. We're
hoping to go at least live weekly with maybe like an hour-long show, and then we'll cut that up into shorter segments and put those out, and clippets. Yeah, we come up with our own little.
Yeah, that's our thing.
Copyright clippets.
2020.
Clearfield clippets. So you'll see a lot of that stuff. And Dan mentioned earlier about maybe doing some man on the street type interviews. When there's special events happening in the area, the Clearfield County Fair. When there's things happening in town, we might be able to walk around and record some interviews with some local people and talk about area concerns and issues and questions that people might have, and we'll bring that to you recorded or live. I'm not sure. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Well, and the big reason for a platform like this is because I feel like as a small town, we have let a platform such as YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, all these other places, we don't use them. We don't facilitate.
We don't utilize it as we should be.
How many people have went to a commissioner's meeting? Mm-hmm. From the video I watch online, that's no offense to the commissioners, kind of hard to watch. Mm-hmm. 5 people, 10 people, and it's like, why not? Why aren't we involved? Even if it's just watching and putting down a comment of like, I like this, I don't like this. Boy, that new policy that they put in place. Hey, the meter fares are too high. I feel like we don't have a platform in today's world to be able to voice that kind of stuff.
It's so easy. It's so easy to It's so easy to be involved. There's no reason why the general public isn't more involved in politics such as that, because all the tools are there, and we just need to be able to learn to utilize them and get comfortable with it. So hopefully we can help people along that line as well, because we're all learning. There's always new things happening, and we just want to try to bring our area up to speed, and bring Clearfield TV, Clearfield.tv, into the mainstream, and get people, coming to us or coming to Clearfield TV. I don't want to say us because we're just happen to be starting it, but
it's Clearfield's platform. That's our honest goal, is to have a place where people feel like a central place where they can be heard. Because even if you try to find like local Clearfield stuff on Facebook, there really isn't a place where people, Channel 10 News kind of is, but that's one-sided. Even our news, the Progress and Gant Daily, information to you. It's hard to get information back. It's hard to get information back to some of our politicians and stuff. And it's like, especially if you're affiliated with one party, then it's really hard to go and talk to the other party,
right?
Because of that infighting and stuff like that. And not that it's bad here. Like, it doesn't really seem like there's a left and right paradigm here, but there is to a sense. And so it's like, if we can help create a platform where people feel comfortable messaging in and conversating, and somebody that may be a little awkward or hesitant, it's like, maybe we can be that warm, welcoming face.
There you go.
And maybe you start out with just some comments. And then maybe you're able to do like an audio call-in eventually, and maybe then you can get on a video, with us or something like that. And that's that kind of platform we want to have. It's a multifaceted thing to be able to make people feel comfortable that their thoughts matter, because we make up Clearfield. All of us make up Clearfield, and eventually, if we ever become bigger than Clearfield County or Clearfield the town, we're probably going to hyphenate or something. That's why it's kind of broken up here into two middles. So it's Clearfield, almost like clearing the field. We want to clear the playing field to where we're equals in this game of life.
Right.
Not, oh, you're more wealthy. How could I ever become a politician? I don't have $20,000 for advertising.
Yeah.
Well, this is a free platform.
Yep. Exactly.
We don't need that. So
right.
That's kind of my...
Yeah, Dan and I, we're not part of the in crowd. We're not part of...
They don't know us yet.
Yeah. we're not part of the movers and shakers in the Clearfield County area. We're not part of the club.
Right.
And I look at that as a good thing.
Yeah. Well, we're fresh.
Because, we can look at things from the outside and, have fresh ideas, new ideas, and hopefully people will appreciate that and accept that. And as we move forward, we really hope to. We don't know exactly how this is going to all go. We have a lot of big ideas and big thoughts and hopes, but we want you to be involved, and so that's why we're here.
Yep.
And so I think we'll cut it there.
Yeah,
and then for next episode, we'll talk a little bit more about me.
That sounds good.
How about that?
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in and joining us today. And like I said, you can find us on almost all major platforms. If we're not there yet, we will be. And feel free, leave a comment, participate.
Give us some suggestions what you'd like to see happen here.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day.
See you guys.